Let's go to Christopher in Texas. Welcome to the Line of Fire.
Hello, Dr. Brown.
Hey.
Hey, I was calling to actually support what you're talking about. I'm subscribed to you on YouTube.
Thank you, sir.
I'm what you call a black conservative. I've always followed the truth, and I don't see how anyone could come up with the things that they came up when accusing you of those things. It's just confusing to me. But I do have a couple comments about.
Hey, Christopher, let me ask you one thing. What have you been accused of as a black conservative? Have you been told you're not black enough, or you betrayed your community?
All of it.
Yeah,
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, so if that can be said of a black man falsely, right? Then the same people accusing you falsely, you can imagine what they're going to say about me, a 64-year-old white man.
Exactly. I'm not surprised. I'm actually, because it's just, I believe, in my opinion, I just believe there's a huge brainwashing going on. And I believe that those people who are influenced by the liberal left to the extreme typically are fed with these things on a day-to-day basis through music, media, comedy. It's just everywhere. You're like oversaturated with this idea. So it's kind of not surprising to me, but at the same time, we should be aware that those who have control over these outlets, as far as who determines what's being shown on TV and what's being played through the music, it's everywhere. So it's kind of hard to get away from this idea that you're fighting against. So you're pretty much fighting against the hive mind mentality right now, and it's the popular mentality. And I'm afraid it probably wouldn't get any better, but it's hard for one who's not really aware, who's actually seeking the truth actively, to actually see a neutral standpoint.
You had a couple of questions. I'm all ears.
I just want to highlight the magnitude of trouble that we are in, and as a black person, because I would say this, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just want to open up a can of worms when it comes to what we have to deal with as black people. I believe that we're being sold ideas from so many different outlets that it's really hard, unless you're exposed to the right people. It's hard to kind of, if you're not really engaged in what's going on, typically overall, it's hard to really see the truth. You understand what I mean? It's not the same for me per se, because I literally stay in this stuff on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. But like, we're being targeted by the media. We're being sold ideas to by the media, by the comedians, by the music, by the culture. Even at my job, even at churches, like churches that's predominantly black, you have the leaders that's speaking against what you're talking about. So, I really do know that it's really hard for black people nowadays to really see the other side when you're being oversaturated with this devilish mentality to to see racism that's not really there. You understand what I mean? I don't understand.
No. Let me just say this. I was just trying to find this online as we were talking. A book that I got by a black executive, Tom Burrell. He was in PR work. Came out. Well, I got it in 2010, called "Brainwashed: Challenging the Myth of Black Inferiority," and just a brainwashing from another angle. I remember, sir, when I first started talking about issues and then got hit with charges of, why are you being racist, or talking about race all the time, when I was just talking issues, a black caller named Rachel called in. She said that she was old enough to remember the speeches of Martin Luther King Jr., and that she said this is a spiritual battle that has to be fought spiritually, even in the churches.
Yes.
And so she tried an experiment. She went to friends of hers, black Christians, committed believers, right? And she went through a list of social issues and asked where they stood on those. And they stood on the conservative side of all of those. But when she asked who they were voting for liberal candidates. So then she came with a letter that we had actually produced a copy of Senator Obama encouraging LGBT activists. It was a Democrat club in San Francisco. She read the letter to them, and this was not a disputed document. She read the letter to her friends, and they were upset with it. We could never support anyone like that. And she said, that's Senator Obama. They said, no, it can't be. It's forged. So she said, it's going to it takes spiritual war. Now, look, every one of us can have a stronghold we're unaware of, and that's where we help each other. But the fact is there are strongholds, and reasoning and friendly discussion and presenting facts, it doesn't work. That's what scares me. I was talking to Nancy today. I said, it's frightening to me that you can present facts. Or, for example, Bishop Swan saying Donald Trump said Nazis are very fine people. Of course, it's a complete myth, a total myth. And what had happened in Virginia with the fatality there with alt-right and the protesters, he had said there were fine people on both sides. He was talking about those that were protesting against the statue of the Confederate statue being taken down, and then someone said something about alt-right. He goes, no, the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis, the same press conference, they are to be completely condemned. In the same press conference. Then he had a subsequent press conference and said it again. But at that same press conference, he clarified, no, that's not who I was talking about. I was talking about these people. So to this day, it's misquoted. And when you present, all right, here, watch this. Watch, it doesn't matter. And that's what frightens me. And by the way, I'm not pointing a finger with color, because there are blinded whites and blinded blacks and blinded Jews and blinded Gentiles. So we've got to get on our faces and say, God, open my eyes, I just want truth wherever it leads, however unsettling it may come. You've lived through it, sir. And you know, when you hear Walter Williams speak, or Thomas Sowell speak, or Candace Owens speak, or others speak, and they're articulating things and they just get written off because they're on the wrong side of a social issue. Since when did skin color become a social issue? You know what I'm saying? I thought the issues were the issues. So let's keep listening to each other, learning from each other, and really praying that truth will triumph, because there's just a lot of confusion. And it's when you get on internet and start interacting, it gets scary. I'll give you one last example. I decided to try to engage. Even if someone had 20 Twitter followers, I was going to try to engage or ask a question or, try to get a response. So I saw a tweet came in this morning, and it was a woman seconding something that another man had said. And I saw her name, and she had a PhD. I thought, oh, let me engage her, fellow PhD. And I said, just one clarification in this previous tweet. Who did you mean by they? And she responds immediately, why didn't you ask the person who sent it? You're asking me because I'm a woman. And I said, your tweet's the one I saw. And what in the world are you talking about, Christian woman? She goes, well, this is the way you treat black women. I thought, and she believes this? I thought, oh my God, this is scary. But again, I want to say this plainly. It just so happens I've been interacting with a black bishop, or trying to, about these issues. But I am absolutely categorically recognizing there are problems on every side. There is blindness on every side. And there's blindness on the right and on the left, and Republican and Democrat and black and white and everything in between. So that's where we got to humble ourselves. Hey, Christopher, stand strong. Sometimes it can be lonely, but you're on the side of truth, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. God bless.